Hey everybody, this is Frank Cox with the Barbecue Culture Podcast. We get a lot of questions about all different kinds of startup on different kinds of smokers. And, we decided that this time we're going to tackle UDS smokers. Stay tuned, we're going to light your fire. You're listening to the Barbecue Culture Podcast. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in today. Hey, this is our 10th episode. I'm having a lot of fun with this deal. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to talk about how to light an ugly drum smoker today. And I think in the next couple of episodes, we're going to talk about temperature control, different scenarios that you get into whenever you have a fire that you can't control, or a fire that you can't get hot enough, or if you have fluctuations. So we'll try to split that up into about 3 episodes there coming up soon. But today we want to start off talking about charcoal. So, we're going to light UDS smoker, and that's the most important fuel to use in an ugly drum smoker. Wood you can't use in there because you don't get enough combustion air. So if you had wood in there, you wouldn't have enough air, so your fire would go out, but also you'd wind up with soot. So we primarily use lump charcoal or briquette or a mixture thereabout. So my favorite charcoal is actually a brand called Timber, but you can use anything, rockwood, B&B, anything like that works fine. And, you're going to want to, I don't know if you want to get geeky enough about it to sort the lump out, but when you dump out a bag of lump, you usually wind up with big chunks in there when you first open the bag, and then you got a lot of fines towards the bottom that fell down during shipment or whatever. And so, what I usually try to do is just take the big pieces. It's pretty brittle. We try to break those up, or we'll set it down in the bottom of our charcoal basket. And then, we're going to mix. Usually, if you want to, you can mix a little bit of lump and a little bit of briquettes and get a tighter pack. The difference between lump charcoal and briquettes, we've talked about that before. Lump charcoal is going to be all natural wood that's just basically been heated up to the point that it's past the point of kiln dried, and we've removed moisture and we've removed all the resins and stuff like that out of it, and it's gotten almost to the point of combustion, and that's what makes it turn black. Briquette charcoal is more of a refined process, so they're using ground up wood like sawdust and wood chips and things like that, and they're doing the same process, but they're using a binder in there, and who knows what's in that binder, honestly. We've heard all kinds of things, but what you do is they do the same process as they do with the lump, just they have to binder it all together to make the shape of the briquette. So anyway, what I like to do whenever I'm lighting my drum is I take my charcoal basket out of the drum smoker, and I use a 12-inch by 12-inch square charcoal basket that we manufacture. You can find it on smokerbuildermfg.com, and we make several different ones, but it's 12 inches by 12 inches. And the depth of the charcoal part of it is 9 inches, and then it's got like 3-inch legs under it with an ash pan. So that'll hold about 15 pounds of lump and about 18 pounds of briquettes. So I take that charcoal basket and set it outside of the drum and fill it up to about 3/4 full. Then we're going to take and fill up our charcoal chimney. Now, my favorite chimney that I use is the Weber charcoal chimney that you get at Lowe's. It's about $14. I like the size of it more than anything. It seems to hold just the right amount for lighting my ugly drum. And I'm going to fill that charcoal chimney slightly heaping, and I'm going to try to keep the big chunks of lump out of there if you're using lump. So then next thing you're going to do is wad up a big wad of newspaper, or, use a turkey deep fryer burner, or some people even use those little starter cubes, and there's really no wrong answer. The bottom line is you want to get a fire lit underneath of that charcoal chimney, and make sure and set that chimney on some kind of a non-combustible surface. Not on the deck. Maybe set it on like inside the Weber charcoal grill if you got one, or inside a fire pit, or maybe set it on like a block or concrete block or something, and let that thing light and let it burn until it gets to be about salt and pepper colored on top of it. You're going to want to take that charcoal basket while that charcoal chimney's lighting and set that basket down in the bottom of the ugly drum. I prefer to have like the heat shield and everything in there and all that. If you don't have a heat shield, no big deal. We're still going to do the same process. Just set that basket down in the bottom of the drum. Now, once your charcoal is about, salt and pepper colored, when I light my drum, I like to have all the air inlets closed when I pour the charcoal in. So we're going to dump that charcoal dead center right on top of that charcoal basket so it burns downward like a fuse. Then we're going to hurry up and close this drum up. We're going to put our baffle plate in there if you got one. Then we're going to put our cooking grate in there. Then we're going to shut the lid. Now, once we get the lid shut, I open the exhaust first, and then on the air inlets, if you're using the style that we manufacture, they're 1.5 ID is what they are. I just open one of those air inlets up. If I want to cook at 300 and you're at a normal elevation like 2,000 or less square feet, I open one air inlet all the way up. If you're wanting to cook lower temperatures, I stick my index finger inside that damper, and I'll close the blade to where it touches my finger and pull my finger out. That'll get you started about 225 every single time. So set your damper according to what temperature you want to be. If you want to be a little higher than 225, like 250, just mess with it a bit. You're going to be about 30% open. So get your damper set, walk away from it. Give it, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. You ought to be able to get some meat prepped or whatever you're going to do. And then in about 15 minutes, come outside and check on it. Now, what you're going to want to do is make sure that drum is running above 150 by now. So if you're cooking low and slow, you're probably at your temperature, about 225, pretty easy. If you don't have like a heat shield baffle plate, kind of a combo in there, you might be running a little bit hot. Don't worry about it. Let it roll. If you're wanting to cook hot and fast, you're probably by now, if you've got your damper all the way open, sitting right at about the 250, almost 300 mark. So that should be pretty good. So we want to make sure we keep that barrel closed. That's the most important thing. Don't let the barrel stay open for a long period of time, because on these ugly drums, when you got that full load of charcoal in there, that's about almost a full bag. And if you get too much air to it over too much period of time, you're basically got a rocket stove. I've seen flames coming up out of those things, 3-4 feet tall after if you leave it open too long, and it'll melt all your paint off. So secret number one is keep it closed. Anyway, if you notice that your temperature's too low, open your damper blade just a quarter open. If you notice that your drum is running too hot, close it a little bit. If it's running really hot, close your smokestack down half. You shouldn't ever have to run your smokestack, closed at all, except if you're if you're overshooting temp, then you might damper it down a little bit. But, we're going to go ahead and walk back away from this thing and let it sit for a while once you've made your adjustments. And, grab a beverage, whatever, mess around with some more meat for a little bit there. Then in about 10 minutes, go back outside and see if your temperature changed at all. The biggest secret to running an ugly drum is to make sure that you make minimal adjustments, minimal times. Don't get antsy. Don't run the dampers and move them a whole lot, because you're just going to be fighting yourself. And then, the other thing you want to keep in mind is, just be patient. We're not in a hurry. We're cooking barbecue, So anyway, what we're going to do next on the next episode is we're going to talk about how to control this thing. We're going to start with a scenario where your drum won't cook hot enough. And then in the coming episodes, we're going to talk about overshooting temp and temperature fluctuations. Thanks for joining me today. Make sure and light a fire. Convert somebody. Bring them into the barbecue culture. See ya.